Welcome everybody into Rex's Bar and Grill as the 2026 season is upon us, and that means it's time for another Players Club. Today we have three guests with three completely different perspectives on TCU football, starting off with our beloved head coach Sonny Dykes, Max Duggan, and the man who oversees it all, Mike Buddie. We got T-minus 8 days until week 0 kicks off in Dublin, Ireland. I hope everyone out there is aware of that, and if you don't know, we kicked UNC's tail once. Now it's time to do it again, this time just overseas. I'm Camden Stone, going alongside our co-host, the Taylor twins. How are we doing today?
Yeah, we're doing great. We're super excited to be here. My name is Brielle Taylor. I'm a part of the beach volleyball team, and we're incoming freshmen this year. My name is Brielle Taylor, and I'm also on the beach volleyball team, and we're from West Palm Beach, Florida.
So we're going to start it off with a guy who doesn't need much of an introduction around Fort Worth, entering his 5th year as a head coach of TCU football. Welcome up our very own Sonny Dykes, everybody. Coach, I just want to start big picture. Sitting down here, is it finally starting to feel real?
Yeah, the fall camp is a long, arduous journey, I guess is the best way to put it. And so, it's a grind. It really is. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. Days kind of run together, but I think we're at that point now where we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so our players have had a really, really good camp. It's been about as good as we've had around here at any point, quite frankly, and really like where we are right now as a football team. So excited about it. It's a lot of unknowns with the trip and all the things, and so we've done pretty much everything we can do to get our players prepared for a different environment, a different experience. And now we've got to we leave Wednesday night, and so we'll spend this weekend. We have a mock game tomorrow, a bunch of opportunities to get things done and kind of put our finishing touches on our game plan and everything, and then have a Sunday practice or practice on Sunday. It'll be a Tuesday practice. Take Monday off like we always do, and then Wednesday will be a Tuesday. It's going to be a long week, but we're ready and excited and feel real good about where we are.
Coach, day 1 of camp till now, what have you learned about your team?
Well, I think it's a mature team. I think that it's a really close team. I think the guys like each other. It's every team's different. This team, I think, has an edge to them. It's been a really physical fall camp. I don't know. And we've gotten better every day. It's been really hot, but our players have just worked right through it, have persevered, and I think we've gotten better. Our last 3 practices have been probably our best 3. So I've been really encouraged by that. Normally you start to level out a little bit toward the back end, and our guys just keep stacking really good practices. And, they're excited about the opportunity. They know it's going to be a big challenge. And but I like this team. I think there's just, like I said, there's a mature air about it. I think the guys are really invested. So I'm looking forward to, getting out there and getting going.
You mentioned every team being different. If you were to give this team a personality, what do you think the personality of your team's starting to become?
Business-like. What I'm saying? I think that's been the biggest thing. When you look at, our quarterback, Jaden Craig, and I think that's probably his best attribute. It's just his ability to be consistent, not to be too high, not to be too low, kind of that quiet confidence. And I think this team has that. We have an interesting team because we have a lot of players coming back that have played a lot of snaps, but then we also have some of our best players or guys that we think are going to be our best players that really haven't played much, and so those guys are excited to get out and go prove what they're capable of. But I think that's, calm and confident, I think is, kind of the personality of this group, and I like that. I think it's going to suit us well.
So without giving UNC your whole game plan tonight, what's one thing that you think the TCU fans are going to immediately know and recognize?
Oh, I think for us, it's really, really, really important for us to be a physical football team. Got to be able to run the football, establish a running game. That's something that we haven't probably run the ball as consistently well as we need to. to be able to win at the level that we want to win at. So I think that's going to be the big thing. And then I think, playing a very aggressive style of defense, I think we'll be more aggressive defensively than we have been. We just have so many guys that have been in the system now for 3 years, and I think that allows us to play very aggressive, and I think that's going to be our intent.
Coach, coming to a football season, whether you're a coach, player, the whole team, the mindset is why not us?
Yeah.
For TCU football, why not us this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of our mindset every year. It's an interesting. Football's pretty crazy. I mean, it's an interesting deal. You've got to find a way to win games, and sometimes early in the season, you just got to grind them out. They're not always going to be pretty. You just have to figure out a way to win, and then what happens is you start to develop a personality and a confidence about you, and you start to find ways to win, and that's going to be, I think, important for this team. It's going to maybe look a little different than it has in the past in terms of what we're doing from a scheme standpoint, but I think it's going to suit us well, and I think it's going to allow us to to be physical, and that's what we want.
Normally, preparation-wise, it's all football-based. You're now taking a football team to Ireland. How does the preparation, kind of differ when you're going overseas?
Yeah, it's definitely, again, you got to have a mature attitude. The players have to realize that they have a job to do. It doesn't really matter what the circumstances are. We have an 8-hour flight. We'll leave Wednesday evening after practice. We'll get there Thursday morning, get to the hotel, check in, eat a meal, go practice. And our guys have just got to do a good job of understanding, look, doesn't matter where you're playing, doesn't matter what the circumstances are. We all have a job, and they got to go do their job at a really high level. And again, that takes a lot of maturity to do that, but I think this group has that, and I think it's going to be one of our strengths.
You've obviously coached in some huge games, but walking into the Aviva Stadium in Ireland for a season opener, that's obviously going to be big.
Yeah.
So do you think you'll ever even give yourself a moment to take that all in?
Yeah, you do sometimes. I mean, you really do it kind of afterwards, because you got so much going on in your mind before the game, and there's so many things that you have to do, and questions that have to be addressed and things answered. And so what you do is you kind of try to do it after the game, really, where you take a little moment to appreciate what just happened and the experience and all the things. But really, until then, hard to do because you're just so dialed in and so ready to get started. And there's always an excitement with that first game because, there is unknowns, and you don't really know how guys are going to perform and how the team is going to come together. And but that's, to me, the exciting part of it all, and that's what makes it really fun.
Yeah, it's probably new for everybody.
Yeah,
The first
yeah,
time,
it is. I mean, as I said, we got a lot of new faces, but we have a lot of returning guys as well, so it's an interesting mix. But I think the group is talented. I think they're capable. They just haven't had a chance to do it in games up until this point, and I'm excited to see how they perform when the lights come on. They'll be on a big stage. I mean, it's the only college football game on during that time slot. There's going to be a lot of eyes, obviously, with playing against the Bill Belichick coach team, in a much improved North Carolina team for sure. So, but it'll be a big challenge, but we're excited.
Coach, you beat me to it. Bill Belichick, UNC. You've dealt with him once. 8 Super Bowl rings for a coach like that. From a coaching standpoint, is that preparation a little different with a man like that on the other side of that line?
Not really. I mean, I think, we talk to our players all the time about this. And, football is a player's game. Obviously, coaching's a big part of it, and building a program is so important. But, I'm not going to make any tackles. He's not going to make any tackles. It's all about the guys on the field, and it's about the guys that are going to go out and perform at a high level, and just getting those guys ready to go play and cut it loose and confident. And number one, what they're doing and how they're doing it, and just get them to go play fast and play with a ton of confidence.
And because it's the first game of the season, you haven't really been able to scout UNC much. How much of the challenge do you think it's going to be just simply not knowing what they're going to show you?
Yeah, that part's week one. It's always interesting, and especially they've got a new offensive coordinator. Bobby Petrino's coming over from Arkansas. Bobby's probably one of the top offensive coordinators in football, pro football or college football. He's been a head coach in the NFL, has been incredibly successful in college, really, really good play caller. So that's going to be different. We're going to have to get prepared. we don't really know how exactly what they're going to do. Some of that's going to depend on who the quarterback is, and so there's a lot of unknowns. We think we know who the quarterback's going to be. My guess is we'll see both of them, and they're different in their skill sets, and what does that present, and how do you prepare for that? So there's been a lot of prep that goes into this. We have extra time, obviously, so we've been able to go back and look at film of, what did Belichick do when he was coaching in the NFL against teams that do this, and in Petrino, the same thing. So a lot of prep goes into this, and so it should be interesting.
All right, Coach. Well, enough football. We're going to bring you over to a portion called Coach Off the Clock. Here we go. Short answers. Don't overthink it.
All right, so morning practice or night practice?
Morning, for sure. I used to be a afternoon guy, but definitely morning practice. I like getting up and getting it done and letting the players go be students after practice.
I think that's probably the way
Give
to go,
those guys
too.
a little bit of time.
Yeah. Coffee or Diet Coke?
Diet Coke for sure.
What about Tex-Mex or barbecue?
Oh, man, good one. What about Tex-Mex barbecue?
Ooh.
They have it, and I like it.
That sounds like the way to go, too. What about your favorite road stadium you've ever coached in?
Oh, man, that's a good one. Probably.
You're overthinking.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm on the clock. I know.
Wait. I'm
going
Coach.
to say the
Let's
Rose
go.
Bowl. The Rose Bowl.
Okay. What about golf? Would you call that relaxing or frustrating?
Oh, probably more frustrating than relaxing, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't, but it is.
Who on the coaching staff talks the most?
Our offensive coordinator, Gordy Samish, he's a communicator, and so he's always talking to players, talking to me, and he does a really good job of it.
If you weren't a football coach, what would you be doing?
Probably flying airplanes.
Ooh, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
What about who would survive the longest on a reality show?
Who would survive the longest? Like on our team?
On your team or staff?
Oh, wow. I mean, Jaden Craig, because Harvard grad, really smart guy. I think he could probably, make a bomb out of, some chewing gum and sand if he had to.
Okay. And then your last one, who's the coach you absolutely don't want picking the restaurant?
Who's the coach that don't want what?
Picking your restaurant that you'd go to eat.
Oh, picking my restaurant?
Yeah.
Mark Tomerdahl. He's like a vegetarian, vegan, something, I don't know. But, yeah, he's not picking my food. Yeah, it's...
So does that mean you're picking the restaurant then?
Yeah. Mark's
Okay.
not picking the restaurant.
Yeah, so y'all would go to Tex-Mex barbecue.
Yeah, Tex-Mex barbecue. Yeah, we go to Panther City and get a little bit of Tex-Mex barbecue.
All right.
Well, Coach, you're with two beach volleyball players right now. For a hot second, we're going to take off the grass, throw you on their world in the sand.
If you had to choose 3 beach volleyball players out of your football team, who would you pick to be on the team?
So you got to be tall. So I'm going to say Kavorian Pimpkin, our tight end, would be one for sure. Big, tall guy that's pretty athletic. I'm going to say Witten Van Hoy because he's really tall. He's 6'7", and I'm going to say Wes Harvey because he's 6'8", and a good athlete as well. So I think we got some pretty good blockers between those 3 guys.
So you pretty much answered your question. You think height matters?
What's that?
You think height is super important?
Yeah. I think it's pretty important. Now, you guys aren't the tallest people in the world, so it can't be that important.
Yeah. What about, would any of them actually dive in the sand?
Yeah. I think those guys
Okay.
would love it. Yeah, I think all 3 of the guys that I just described would be okay playing some beach volleyball.
All right. That's good. Yeah.
What about you? How are you on the sand?
Oh, you know what? I used to actually play a lot of beach volleyball back in the old days, but I'm terrible now.
Well, we're getting to know a lot more now. You can fly airplanes, you can play beach volleyball.
Yeah. I mean, I was never very good, but we used to play, when I was in my early 20s quite a bit. I had some friends that were into it, but like I said, we were terrible. We weren't like you guys.
We're going to wrap things up with one more lightning round. Would you rather golf at an Irish links course or tour Dublin?
I actually probably tour Dublin. I think it'd be cool to just see the city and, maybe go on the U2 tour and see all the stuff where U2 used to hang out. And I think that'd be cool.
What about Irish breakfast or Texas breakfast?
Oh, definitely Texas. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, definitely Texas. I don't know what the Irish breakfast is, but whatever it is, it's not as good as a Texas breakfast.
Not worth trying. And then what about Guinness or Dr. Pepper?
You know what? An ice cold Guinness is hard to beat sometimes. 2 or 3 of them is probably too many, but one's not bad.
We got good news for you.
Yeah,
There's some Guinnesses in your future.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get a win Saturday night and go have a Guinness afterwards.
And it's a proper Guinness, right?
No question. Yeah,
Proper
like
Guinness.
a real one, a proper one.
My question to you, when TCU wins in Dublin, what is the first thing that Coach Sonny Dykes is doing to celebrate? Besides the Guinness, because I know that's obviously the first thing.
Favorite thing is celebrating with our players in the locker room doing the Riff Ran chant. That's one of the cool things that we do, and, you know, it's probably something I look forward to the most.
Okay.
Sharing with the players.
It's a player game, right?
It's a
player game. All right, we'll finish with this. You have had some incredible moments at TCU. When fans watch this team in 2026, what do you want them to say, hey, this is what this team is all about?
Yeah, I mean, I want them to say, hey, the guys play really, really hard for each other. They play smart football. You know, we don't beat ourselves. We play aggressive.
Yep.
I want us to be an aggressive style of football and you know, and play together. I think that's a big thing is offense, defense, and special teams complement each other and play together.
Well, you know who played well and with some others? What's going on back here? Take me through this.
Yeah, I'm having friends, Dr. Pepper probably. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, it's a good one. I think I was a senior in high school then.
So we have beach volleyball.
Yeah.
And we can play baseball too.
Yeah.
Probably some football in there.
Maybe not. Yeah, a little bit of football. Yeah, you probably had to look hard to come up with that one.
Oh, we'll stay with football here. Look at that power duo.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, that's my old man. That's me. And, after a football game, looks like it was probably a win. I'm guessing I was maybe in high school or college there. Probably college, got a little bit of a belly.
What is that conversation?
Oh, you know, he was probably just trying to get me off the field as quick as he could. Yeah, just shoot me out of the way, probably.
All right, we got one more here for you. First lady of TCU football.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
there it is.
There
she
Kate
is.
Right over there. There's Kate.
There it is.
It's a little place in Montana that we go visit sometimes. So, yeah, pretty cool little spot.
Good getaway from.
We got a little tree growing right through the
awesome.
the house right there. It's kind of cool.
And what are some hobbies that Montana brings for you and the family?
You know, mostly just hanging out. It's a little small place, and so we're all crammed in there together, and it's, you know, we get to enjoy each other's company and hang out. So it's pretty special.
Where in Montana do you go?
Whitefish, way up kind of northwest part of the state.
Our family has a house near like Darby, Hamilton area.
Okay, yeah,
so we
cool.
spent a lot of summers out there.
Yeah, Montana's beautiful. I mean, it's this time of year especially.
Yeah, not as
And
hot.
when is this house going to be done?
It's done.
We're looking at wood
right
now.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done. Doesn't look like it, but it's done.
Well, Coach, it's been an absolute pleasure. Of course, good luck in Ireland. We will be there producing coverage for the whole Aer Lingus College Football Classic on location.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it, and thanks for coming out. Look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully see some of you in Ireland, and if not, we'll see you in Fort Worth.
Sonny Dykes, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Come on, Sonny Dykes. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you.
Gatorade has the #1 proven electrolyte blend, designed to hydrate better than water, made to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel, so you can lose more sweat and run the game. Gatorade, is it in you?
We went hard after you because you're one of the players that a little bit under the radar when we first started recruiting you. And I got to know your father, and I was like, man, this guy's exactly what we need. And then your toughness, your leadership, and I can see it. That's why TCU's where they're at. You're a big reason for that.
All right, everybody. Our next guest produced the most memorable season in TCU history. Big 12 championship appearance, college football playoff, Fiesta Bowl win. The resume is endless. National championship game, the most unforgettable run at quarterback. Everybody, please welcome up Max Duggan. Back in Funky Town now. Does it feel a little different, not being a student, maybe not on the grass at the Carter, but you're still here?
Yeah, no, I love being in Fort Worth. I'm back now, and it's a lot of fun. I trying to get used to the heat again, but Fort Worth's a great spot, great people, so I'm glad to be back.
When someone mentions the 2022 season, what's like the first thing that pops into your head?
I think just there's a lot of good memories just that you can go back on and reflect with teammates, with coaches, with fans that you see in Fort Worth. I think it was just one of those memorable seasons that a lot of people have pride about, and it's a lot of fun to kind of reflect on it.
Yeah.
Max, we remember the game, we remember the season, we remember the plays. Just take us behind the scenes for a second. Is there a good moment you can give us that really showed how close that 2022 roster really was?
Yeah, I think during that year there was a lot of close games. I think Oklahoma State, Kansas State, those were kind of the three, back-to-back games that we had to come back from behind. And I think you saw guys in the locker rooms of guys weren't panicking, guys were sticking together, and I think that's what showed of how close that team was, how much they enjoyed playing for each other, the coaching staff, the university. And I think that kind of stretch of 3 games that season really showed a lot about what type of team we were.
Now, what about off the field? Was there a nice memory moment with the guys?
That was the cool thing about that team is that we would always hang out together. Whether it was at somebody's house, whether it was going out and golfing. I think we spent a lot of time around each other, and we had prior to that 22 year. There was a lot of 4th year, 5th year guys on that team. So a lot of golf. I would say a lot of golf in the off season.
And football.
And football, of course.
So you became known for being incredibly tough throughout your season. Was there ever a moment during your season where you were like thinking, I don't know if I've got anything left? I'm ready to be done?
There's a few times, but the good thing for me is that I lived with 3 offensive linemen all throughout college. So if I ever kind of complained or whined, I usually got it when I went home of saying that I was being soft. So there wasn't a lot of choice there to kind of whine about. Yeah, I kind of had to be tough, or my roommates were kind of gonna let me have it.
Well, Max, I want to take you pre-22. If you were not the quarterback there, you guys were not in the national championship, I would not be here right now. I did not know what TCU was. My 3 roommates did not know what TCU was. And a lot of people, frankly, didn't know what TCU was. So do you ever think about how important that game was off the field for the university?
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about athletics. So for what it can do for a school, I think, when I went to school, and it probably still is this way, there was a lot of Southern California kids that went there, and a lot of that had to do with TCU going to the Rose Bowl in 2010. TCU is a small school. Not a lot of people know about it. So if you have, a good athletic year in any sport, people notice it. I grew up in Iowa, Southwest Iowa, and I went to the College World Series every year. TCU was, during the 2010s, was going to the College World Series every year, and that's how I kind of became familiar with TCU. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of joy for, athletics to bring, some acknowledgement to kids that may not know what TCU is, and, they come and check it out.
Well, you're sitting next to a Southern California guy who is only here because of the Rose Bowl. And if you told my 10th grade self that I would not be surfing waves and be in Texas, I would not believe him.
That's right. I know. Yeah, it's a little hotter here, but we're glad you're here.
So your senior season, you're back healthy, and Sonny Dykes took over the program. And Chandler Morris is named the starter after 3 years of you leading the offense. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had started the 3 years prior to that, and we were not very good when I was playing. So Coach Dykes comes in my senior year, and we had a quarterback competition with Chandler Morris, and I ended up losing that job. So Chandler decided to start, and I didn't transfer. I love TCU. I love my teammates. I was graduating that December, and I wanted to stick it out and wanted to be at TCU when we were winning. I believed in Sonny and that staff and wanted to be a part of it. And Chandler, unfortunately, he got hurt in that first game, and so I was able to come in and we went on a really special run, but I think it meant a lot to me. I have a lot of pride for kind of sticking through it, being part of TCU, graduating from TCU, and my best friends, a lot of people that I'm still with in my life are from TCU.
Max, you're talking sticking through it. Not a lot of guys in this day and age in college football are sticking through it, and they're especially not facing the challenges like you were facing. How do you just stick through that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to you want to be able to have a place that you can call home. When you're done playing, football will eventually end at one day, and you want to be able to go back somewhere and have people welcome you back. And I think that's what the cool thing about Fort Worth and TCU is, that people welcome you back if you do the right things and you stick it out with them. And so it was a lot of fun. My dad was very hard on me. He was a high school football coach growing up, and he stayed on me of, you gave your word to someone and to something, and you're going to stick to it.
Well, I'm happy to sit here and say, welcome back.
Yeah, glad to be back.
So after that, Gary leaves, and then you got COVID, and you got over a heart condition. How'd you get through all that?
Yeah, so my sophomore year was during COVID. We were going through all the COVID-19 tests and NCAA testing to be able to come back and play athletics. And through that whole thing, I found out that I had a heart condition that I had since birth, nothing to do with COVID. And so they ended up going into a 9-hour heart procedure about a month before our first game, and then ended up having a blood clot 2 days after surgery. Went into emergency surgery for that. And there's just a lot of good people around me, from our coaching staff, from fans, from teammates, my family, friends, just everyone that was encouraging me. was able to get back, had no problems, all healthy, was able to come back and play in our first game that year.
I want to jump back to pre-2022 season. Obviously, there was not that many people saying, hey, yeah, I project TCU to be a contender for the national championship game. When did it finally feel real where you guys in the locker room were like, hey, we can do this?
Yeah, I think that year we OU was a really big game. That was kind of the starting point of beating OU there ranked. We hadn't beaten OU since, I'd been at TCU, and I don't think we'd beaten them since 2014 maybe prior to that point. So that was a really big game. And then the three stretch of games, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Kansas, I talked about earlier, that was kind of the come from behind wins, a lot of adversity, and I think that's when you kind of realize that this team may be special and that we might have a chance to have a really good year.
So now you're watching TCU football from a completely different perspective. As a quarterback, what are some things that you notice in playing at TCU that the average fan is not picking up?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun over the last few years of watching as a fan. Still being around the program has been a lot of fun. I always enjoy it. But, just wishing the kids and the coaching staff, a lot of success. I think that's what it comes down to. You want the guys, for all the work that the players and the staff all put in, for it to show up on Saturdays and for them to kind of reap that reward. That's what I, hope for all of them.
And I couldn't imagine the effort that you put in. I see those press conferences, all the energy and effort, and how rewarding that felt.
Yeah, there's a lot of work into athletics, as you guys know, and a lot of people don't see that. It's a lot of time, and the lights aren't on. No one's watching you, and it comes down to one game, one match, whatever it may be, and you hope that all the work that you put in, kind of pays off for it.
What would you say the hardest part about being a quarterback is when you're preparing for the first game of a season?
Quarterback-wise, first game of the season, there's a lot of newness to it for a team. Maybe what whoever you're playing, so North Carolina, for example, what they did last year, but they have a completely new team. So there's a lot of unknown going into that first game, and practice, it's hard to kind of get game-like reps. When guys are going full speed, and as a quarterback, you don't get hit in practice. So that's also another big thing is now you're going to get hit, that first game, and kind of getting back used to it.
I want to put you back under center for a hot second here. Imagine you have just been told your first game of the season is in Dublin, Ireland. Is that a win? Are you okay with that? Are you iffy? Would you rather stay home?
Yeah, no, I think that would be a lot of fun. Obviously, for all the players and the staff, for a lot of guys that, have probably never even left the state of Texas, for them to be able to go to Ireland, experience that. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to do a lot of cool things. So, they're in good hands.
So now for the TCU quarterback specifically, what's one piece of advice you'd give to him walking into the stadium in Ireland?
I think it's just believe in yourself. Just trust it and cut it. Jaden's going to do a great job. It's been fun to get to know him. And I think that's the whole thing is just go out there. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Just, cut it loose.
Well, we've talked football. Let's learn a little more about you. Britain's going to fire off a couple rapid questions. Coach was hesitating a little. Don't hesitate.
I will do my best.
That quarterback mind.
That's right.
Quick.
Would you say Iowa or Texas?
Texas.
Good answer. Cold weather or 100 degrees in Fort Worth?
100 degrees in Fort Worth.
What's your favorite Fort Worth restaurant?
Rex's.
Who's the best teammate to take on a road trip?
Andrew Coker.
Worst teammate to room with?
Dominic D'Annunzio.
Sorry, Dominic. I had to ask that. Best dressed teammate from the 2022 team?
Steve Avila.
Most likely to become a coach out of your teammates. Who do you think would become a coach?
Wyatt Harris.
Teammate to most likely to call you at 2 a.m.
Wyatt Harris.
Favorite TCU uniform combination?
All white.
And then what's a better feeling, throwing a touchdown or running somebody over?
Throwing a touchdown.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have put a boatload of money for you. It would have been running someone over.
Throwing a touchdown. That's the best.
Running someone over can't be that bad, though.
I know. I try not to do it too much because I'm not bigger than everybody. So sometimes it hurts.
Well, 2022 season, you threw a lot of touchdowns. We want to kind of know the relationship that you still have. Are you still in touch with the guys from that unbelievable season?
Yeah, all the guys from that 22 year, we had grown up together. A lot of us showed up as freshmen together. We played 4 years together, and so that's what's a lot of fun. All those guys are still playing in the NFL, and a lot of them come back to TCU. They live in Fort Worth. They train up at TCU. So we'd go up there, we'd train together, we'd go golf together, watch TCU games, text each other in the group chats about how the season's going. So it's been, we're all still very close, hang out in the area. So it's been fun to kind of stick around.
I know you mentioned that you guys still have a group chat. Who would you say is the most active person in your group chat?
The most active is probably Steve Avila, just because he's in LA all the time. So he's kind of the guy that's always in it.
What about the guy who's never responding?
Dominic D'Annunzio,
Right off the bat.
Old tight end. Yeah, 1,000%.
If something crazy is happening, like with TCU, who's the first person to text about it?
The first person to text about it, I'm usually up there of talking about it. Wyatt Harris played linebacker for us. Andrew Coker played tackle for us. He's usually in it.
Well, we want to take you over real quick to what we did with Coach. Bring it from the field to the sand, a little volleyball type challenge. You're building a beach volleyball team. You can only use guys from that 2022 roster. You're in. Who are the two others that are getting called up?
Who else would I call? Jared Wiley, who plays tight end for the Chiefs now. That's probably one of them. And then our other one would probably be Quentin Johnston. I need some height, need some athleticism. So Jared Wiley and Quentin Johnston.
Love it.
Do you all think you'd beat us?
No shot. We played the girls when I was in college a bunch of times, and I don't think we ever won. So yeah.
All right, I'll take that answer. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah.
No, yeah, we never won a single time when we played the girls in college. So.
You think you would give them a good run for their money at least?
I don't think so. We
You
were Q and Wiley could, not if I'm playing though. Q and Wiley could.
All right, we'll wrap this up. I kind of want to know about your journey post TCU, your professional journey, drafted to the Chargers, time in UFL and CFL.
Yeah, so right when I got done with TCU, I was drafted to the Chargers. I was out there for the 2023 year and then 2024 during training camp. Then I was released. I went and played in the UFL Spring League for 2025. Played that for a season. Then I went up to the CFL, played for the Toronto Argonauts for a season. And then this past year, I was with the Ottawa Red Blacks for a few weeks.
So those are 4 different types, including college football, styles of professional football. Can you talk to me a little bit about how those differ from each other? Obviously, NFL at the top, but that skill drop and then down and
yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, obviously at the Chargers is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Just watching guys like Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Khalil Mack every day going to practice. And then going down the UFL, CFL, I mean, there's a lot of good players in that, and I had a great experience. I really enjoyed my time of still being able to play, go out there, guys trying to continue to play, achieve their goals and their dreams. So I just had great experiences everywhere I was.
What are some key things you learned playing with the best of the best or training with the best of the best, at least with the Chargers?
Yeah, I think it all just comes down to work. I think there's no substitute for hard work. You saw guys that are insanely gifted and talented, and they showed up to work every single day trying to earn their job, and I think that was a big thing watching those guys every day.
When it comes to you, I don't think work is an issue. I think you're doing all right.
I tried my best.
Hardest worker I know. And we'll take it back to Fort Worth. I hear you are still here, right? Maybe for good?
Yeah. So in Fort Worth now, help train quarterbacks, trying to figure out now what I want to do for work, now post-football. So I'm eager, looking forward to, moving on. But, Fort Worth is home.
So I know we're just now starting our journey at TCU, but I wish we could have been there during 2022. And so as we're wrapping this up, just tell us a little bit about your family. I know you mentioned your dad as a coach. Our mom's a volleyball coach. So how do you relate to that?
Oh, yeah. I played for my dad. My dad was a high school football coach in the state of Iowa for 35 years. I have an older brother and sister. My brother played for him, and then my older sister. And it was a lot of fun. My family was very supportive of me. They never missed a game when I was in college. Went everywhere. West Virginia, Tech, Arizona, LA. They never missed a game. So they were very, very supportive and loving. And so I always appreciate that to share those moments and those experiences with them.
Max, say you're talking to the guys about going to Dublin. What is a good piece of advice that you would give these kids before going to make the most of their trip in Ireland?
Yeah, I think just be present. I think don't worry about what's happened, what you think's going to happen for this season. I think just be present in the moment, enjoy that week, enjoy the game, do what you're over there to do, and I think just be where your 2 feet are.
And you're making the trip over, right?
Yes, sir. Yep, I'll be over there.
How are you going to enjoy your trip?
I will be enjoying it a little differently than the players will, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to watching the Frogs.
Are you a Guinness guy?
I'm about to be.
You might have to be.
I know. I
you
think
can join
so.
Coach at the bar too.
That's right.
Coach is a Guinness guy.
Yeah, there you go. I think
Get a
we
beer
all
right
are.
with you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, go Frogs.
There you go. So we have heard from head coach Sonny Dykes. We have heard from one of the most beloved, or my most beloved quarterback in TCU history. Now it's time to bring up the guy who oversees it all. Our athletic director, Mike Buddie, will join us next. All right, Rexes, let's get some energy. We're almost at happy hour here, right? 5 o'clock's coming up. Our final guest tonight is the man who oversees TCU athletics during one of the more interesting periods in college sports. He is getting ready to take the Horned Frogs and a whole lot of TCU fans across the Atlantic shortly. Welcome in TCU Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mike Buddie, everybody. So, Mike, you've had a chance now to settle in Fort Worth, settle into TCU. What's something about TCU athletics that you didn't fully appreciate until you were actually inside the department?
Well, probably outside of just the commitment level of our young people. I mean, they work their tails off, literally. I think the facilities at TCU are, I've worked at a lot of places across, almost 20 years now. I would put our facilities top to bottom against anybody out there in the country. They're not the biggest, but they're the best. And so to populate them with young athletes like the Twins here, it's not just football. Our teams competed at such a high level, from the Beach National Championship, which I'm sure they're going to repeat soon, the Women's College Cup run that our soccer team made last year, back-to-back Elite Eight in women's basketball. All of those things are just exceptional. But again, what makes it special are the people, not just the TCU people, but the community of Fort Worth.
Well, it's hard to beat a snow room, right?
Hard to beat a snow room, especially when it's 103 degrees outside.
Makes it even that much better.
College athletics is changing really fast. When you look ahead 5 years, what do you think TCU has to do really well to remain one of the top athletic programs in the country?
We just have to compete. And that's a simple answer. 5 years from now, I think college athletics will feel more normal 5 years from now than it does right now. And that sounds odd, but this pendulum was always one-sided. Like, the institutions owned the student athletes. We couldn't pay you other than a scholarship. We couldn't give you anything. And now that pendulum is swung completely to the other side, where now we almost have to pay all of our student athletes. And if we're not, then they're not going to come to TCU. They're going to go to other schools. And so that's going to be an interesting challenge for the next couple of years, until whether it's Congress that steps in and tries to help the NCAA get clear of all these lawsuits that are constantly being filed, or whether just the cap on the revenue that we're able to share, it gets finalized and there's no more artificial NIL. But in order to get 5 years from now where it's normal for TCU to be in a great position competitively, we're going to have to keep finding revenue streams to be able to invest. And not just invest randomly, invest very strategically in specific sports and student athletes that help us move the needle.
So from an athletic director's perspective, how important would you say is football to everything you're trying to accomplish across the entire department?
Well, I'll say this, like, football is the economic engine that drives the entire department. When the football team is going to the college football playoff, everybody's experience is better. The golfers, the tennis players, the volleyball players, because revenue is directly attached to success on the football field. We sell more tickets, we're more attractive to television partners, we sell more corporate sponsorships, and we get larger cuts of the CFP and bowl game pie, if you will. So football is really important. As a former baseball player and an Olympic sport, my sister-in-law was a soccer player, what's really important to me personally and reflects in my decision-making is the young men and women who are spending 5 hours a day on the sand or in the pool or on the soccer field or in the weight room taking care of nutrition. Those 5 hours are just as important to you as the 5 hours that Max Duggan spent, he just got to compete in front of 75,000 people. You get to compete in front of 2,000 people. That doesn't make it less important or less relevant from the athletic director's perspective, and certainly the student athlete's perspective.
Yeah, so you're taking the TCU brand internationally in Dublin. What does playing in Dublin do for TCU beyond football?
Well, there's multiple things that I think were really attractive. One is playing on a national and international stage, but we'll be the first college football game in the United States, kicking off 11 o'clock local time that Saturday. That's probably 10 to 12 million people that are going to be watching the Horned Frogs as we take the field and hopefully perform really well. Secondly, we're currently academically in the midst of signing a partnership with a university in Dublin, Ireland. And so we want to make this a global experience for our students and student athletes, because the economy is a global economy now. So when you guys are 30, 40, 50 years old, if the United States will just be a border. Business will be conducted all through Europe. And so to set that tone, to start those partnerships across the ocean is really important. And then, probably the most important for me in my heart is we're taking 105 young men who go to TCU, half of whom didn't have a passport when we made this announcement. And you look at them and think, what other reason would they have to experience Ireland? Now they're going, it's a business trip. Let's be clear, they need to win a football game. But they also get the opportunity to spend 4 or 5 days in Dublin, Ireland and experience their culture and their hospitality. And that's really cool that, again, it won't matter to them so much this season, but when they're 30, 40, 50 years old, they'll look back and say, that was actually a really cool experience, great memories, and maybe, the only time they had to go to Europe.
Do you think a trip like that sort of serves as a draw for football guys to come and want to play for TCU?
Yeah, I think so, especially if we play the brand of football that I anticipate we play. And I know Coach Dykes was up here earlier, and we're really excited about the season. But, yeah, absolutely. We attract a lot of young people from the state of Texas, and it might be because they came to a basketball game when they were 7, and they saw the Showgirls or a really good basketball team or the marching band at a football game. You never know what's going to kind of get their hooks in young people that'll attract them to come join the Horned Frog family.
And I know you play a huge role in promoting this game, right? Bringing the eyeballs to watch it. So my question is, when you're talking to people outside of Texas who aren't really familiar with TCU but will be tuned in and watching the game, what do you want them to know that TCU is all about?
Well, I want them to know that we still care about education. I think it's unique that we have a football coach who embraces in-person classes. A lot of college football teams mandate that their student athletes don't go to class, online only. We've got 11,000 undergrads, and yet we played for a national championship 4 years ago. And so I don't know that I have to educate a whole lot of people who care about college athletics, because between the Rose Bowl and the teams that Max led, I think it's a national brand. We just have to remind people, and the best way to remind people is play extremely well in Dublin and then play great all year, get a chance to play for a Big 12 championship, and get back to the CFP.
Yeah.
So for you personally, when you walk into the Aviva Stadium and the TCU field and see everyone there in Ireland, what do you think that moment's going to mean to you?
Well, it'll be the culmination of a lot of hard work. And like a lot of leaders, I'm not the one doing the hard work. I got to make this decision. I had to convince our football coach to give up a home game and get on an airplane to Dublin. I have a staff that has to program graphics onto a video board that with European specifications, not U.S. specifications. All these little things as the home team that we're responsible for. 100 band members are taking their French horns and their bass drums and their trumpets overseas. So to me, it will be kind of a deep breath, like all the hard work that so many great teammates of mine have put in to get the team to that place. I'll enjoy it, take a deep breath, watch kickoff, watch the first couple series, and then really just kind of dig in and enjoy watching a college football game.
All right, it's time. We're going to throw you on the AD hot seat. Brent's going to throw some questions at you. We're going to go rapid fire, quick answers, quick questions.
What's the best part about being an athletic director?
The best part? Free gear. Honestly, I get awesome clothes, and purple is awesome. My real answer is just getting a chance to interact with young people like you and just play a tiny role in making your experience as good as it can be.
Yeah, the gear is always my favorite part too. What's the worst part about it?
Right now, trying to figure out what tomorrow's rules are going to be. I mean, they're changing every day, and my job is to kind of steer the ship. And when there's icebergs that keep popping up every day in front of you, it's difficult to steer the ship, especially with the great responsibility that I feel, again, to provide a great experience to all of you.
Yeah. Is there a sport you'd secretly love to coach?
To coach? Honestly, yes, rifle.
Really?
The rifle student athletes are a different breed. They're always in the top 5 or 6 in the nation. They're extremely disciplined. And the cool part about rifle is the more relaxed you are, the better you perform. I think that would be right up my alley.
We actually just had a conversation with our coach today that we want to go check out the rifle because none of us have seen that, and we've heard it's good. So, the rifle. Who's the most competitive TCU coach?
David Roditi, and it's not even close. Men's tennis coach, national champion a couple of years ago, has been in the top 4 for multiple years in a row. He will try to cut your throat in pickleball, golf, football, baseball, tennis, doesn't matter. By far the most competitive coach.
What about the most likely to argue even if they know they're wrong?
Ooh, I like that. Hector Gutierrez. Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What about the favorite game day food?
Food? Ooh, the Korean horned frog corn dog.
Oh,
I'll have
You
to
guys
try
probably
that.
don't eat it.
no.
It's a corn dog. It is a purple corn dog that is sweet and spicy, and it's ridiculous. It's like a corn dog and a mozzarella cheese stick inside like a funnel cake. It's really healthy.
Healthy. Sounds like all the fair food just tied into one thing.
Exactly right.
And then last one, window seat or aisle seat to Dublin?
I prefer aisle.
Sorry, that wasn't the last one. A few more. Golf
lied.
or
You lied.
baseball?
What is it?
Golf or baseball?
Ooh, golf. It's a lot easier on the body. Frustrating, but golf.
Yeah. And then early morning workout or sleep another hour?
Sleep another hour, midday workout, which is courageous in 103-degree temperatures.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to give you complete power. No committees, no meetings, no approvals, just you making decisions. Purple helmet or white helmet?
Ooh, I'm always on the hook. Purple.
Okay. Day game or night game?
Night game,
100%.
especially with the new LED lights at Carter Stadium.
What about traditional uniforms or alternate uniforms?
I'm a traditional guy.
Fight song or riff ram?
Ooh, God, I love them both. I hear them both in my sleep. Fight song,
Okay. Texas barbecue or Irish pub food?
barbecue, 365 days a year.
I'm going to have to try that. I haven't tried any of it yet. up
Now, pub Guinness, Texas barbecue.
here. Okay, what Texas barbecue place did you recommend?
Oh, geez. Railhead, Terry Black's, Panther City, all ridiculously good.
So we have a bunch of options.
Oh, I've tried all of them.
It's hard to miss with barbecue here.
Yeah. What about Fort Worth or Dublin?
Fort Worth,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no stockyards in Dublin.
I want to let you know that I woke up, I know they just asked about uniforms or alternate. I woke up with a huge smile ear to ear while reading the first tweet that came up. The Spikes are coming back. 2027, is this true?
2027. The folks at Nike are hard at work, fulfilling other orders.
Yeah.
We are in the queue. If we can get them done sooner, we'll get them done sooner, but definitely 2027. The old school Spikes will be back.
What was the purpose in removing them in the first place?
I don't know. You know, I got here a year and a half ago, and from the day I got here, it was a pretty hot topic, and it
Yeah.
was clear. It's rare that a fan base seems to be unanimous and united on a topic, but they're pretty united on this one, and I am too.
I think the school is very united. I'm a huge fan. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to fire up a couple more questions at you before we let you go here. How many texts do you get on a football Saturday?
Oh, between 150 and 250, depending on if there's a instant replay that's controversial.
And is it more pro or negative?
It's usually realistic.
Okay, all right.
It's from family or friends watching on TV saying, there's no way that was a catch. Dude,
I'll take that as a good in-between.
Do you
What-
take the time to respond to all of them?
no.
No.
Later in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the craziest thing a fan has ever suggested to you?
Ooh. No music at football games.
Really?
Yes.
What's the reasoning behind it?
It's too loud and it's not their flavor of music.
So just
I
audio.
had to calmly explain that while we value her as a customer, the music is more angled towards the student section and the student athletes on the field more than it is for fans in the stands. But I appreciated the insight.
I politely disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that insight too.
What is the hardest sporting event for you as an AD to watch?
Baseball.
Really?
Yes. Hard because oftentimes college baseball games are 4 hours long.
Yep.
Also because I played baseball at a really high level, and so I notice a lot of things that the normal eye doesn't notice. And it's usually 97 degrees.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love watching the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. But a whole game I'm like I get ADD.
Are you allowed to yell at officials from the AD box, or do you?
It's not encouraged. It does happen.
Okay.
But it's passion.
I'll leave it at that. Yes.
Passion based.
Hey, I
As long as
fight.
it's
I
passion
fight
based.
for our student athletes
Yes.
to the death.
Fight for your people. What is one TCU tradition that you immediately fell in love with?
The alma mater, doing the alma mater after games, for the student athletes to acknowledge the student section, the coaches to stop what they're doing. It's sharing that moment with the fans and the alumni is really special.
Which TCU sport would you like to try for one day?
Woo-hoo. Well, I already said rifle. That rifle would be the one that would be the easy answer because I'm not going to rip a hamstring.
Yep.
Man, that's a great question. I'll do the safe route and say golf.
Golf, okay. Less likely to tear a hamstring golf than maybe football.
Correct. I'll throw a tantrum, but I won't get hurt.
What is something about being an AD that fans and just people in general completely misunderstand?
Oh, that's a great question. Just probably the things that have to happen years in advance for things to happen. People always talk about football, right? Why don't you play Notre Dame? Well, we don't have any open dates until 2032. So the earliest new football game we could schedule would be in 2033. And you also have to convince the other team to play you. And when you have a program like ours, oftentimes people would rather not take the chance of losing to TCU, and they'd rather go play somebody else. So that's probably the most common one.
But in a way, that's a good thing, right?
It's respect.
Backing down.
Respect.
You're backing down.
That's right.
All right, so I want to ask you something for all TCU student athletes. What's one thing you would want every TCU student athlete to know about you that they might not already know?
Probably that I was a student athlete, decades ago. But that gives me a unique perspective. Honestly, the most clear and simple way I can say it is the entire athletic department. There's 250 of us. The only reason we exist is to support you guys and your efforts. Without you, I don't have a job. I mean, so that I report to the chancellor, but I'm employed by 500 TCU student athletes. That's who I work for.
What's something that you've learned from being around TCU student athletes since you've arrived?
That being a good person and being a hard worker still really matters at TCU. A lot of our country, the athletics programs have gotten to a level where it's really transactional. And I think a lot of our fans make the assumption that people transfer, have to. We had 5 football players transfer last year. I think the national average was 31 or 30. And so what's really cool about TCU, and I give credit to our faculty and our staff and our chancellor, once people are here, they just fall in love with it. Even if they could get a few extra dollars transferring somewhere else, or maybe you're not in the starting rotation your freshman year, you're willing to stick it out because you just love being around TCU. And I think that's unique to what we're doing here.
How do you keep a guy that not transfer?
Make sure that they know that you love them. Know if he's having problems with his girlfriend. Know his parent situation. Hold him really accountable, but also understand that he knows that you care about him as a person. Encourage him to work hard in the classroom. All of those things that I think some of these factories think that that's a bad thing. For the right kids, that's actually a good thing.
Mike, I want to just look ahead real quick. It's August. The season's in front of us. We got Big 12 football coming up. The Carter will finally be packed in the near future. I want you to finish this sentence. The 2026 TCU football season will be successful if
we exceed our expectations and execute to the expectations of the people on the field.
There it is. And this is something else behind us, right? You got to take us through this. A lot of winners.
This is my previous life. So before any of you were born, I was a baseball player for the New York Yankees. This is us at the 25th reunion of the 1998 New York Yankees, who, by a lot of people's standards, is the greatest baseball team in the history of Major League Baseball. That's me and our closer up there, Mariano Rivera, who was a first ballot unanimous Hall of Fame member. That's Joe Torre and Don Zimmer's widow down there riding a golf cart. And then these are just some of my teammates. So a unique perspective, certainly, to go from doing that for a living and then getting the honor to do this as a living. So good God.
It's even good. It's a better one.
How deep in Google have you gone to get the picture of me on a tricycle?
I want to hear about that one first.
So that was in Double-A, and there was a tricycle race pregame for a bunch of 4-year-olds. And you could argue that I had the mentality of a 4-year-old. So I jumped on board. And then this is my little guy here. He's now 26 years old. That was family day at Miller Park when I played for the Milwaukee Brewers. If you could see him now, he has changed quite a bit, and I haven't changed at all. This is a dirty trick. I'm holding the Twins responsible for this.
I know nothing.
Oh, it's not this either.
I just look back. I know nothing about it.
That's me in my college days, the good old days at Wake Forest. Oh, geez.
Here we go. It gets
about
better
this
and
one?
better, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah, so that was my favorite off-season job. I appeared in the movie For Love of the Game, starring Mike Buddie and Kelly Preston, with a guest appearance by Kevin Costner. Yeah, we shot that movie over a month and a half at Yankee Stadium. And yes, I was a state champion wrestler in Ohio 115 years ago.
Mike, thank you as always for being regular on our
Please
shows.
tell me that's it. All
That's
right.
it, I promise. Wait, it's over. You're free now. Or? No, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
I'm free.
Thank you so much for being regular on our shows. We always
Yeah.
appreciate your insight.
Awesome to see you guys.
And we will see you in Ireland, right? And a quick reminder, we will be live on location in Dublin with exclusive coverage of all of our Horned Frog football, including TCU Spirit, and of course Frog Nation when they head across the pond for that game. Mike Buddie, everyone.
So rainwater, why is it the best? Well, it comes from heaven, the sky. It literally never touches the ground. We catch it before it hits the ground. And as soon as rainwater hits the ground, it becomes groundwater. That's what all the other water is that you buy at the store or is coming out of your tap at your house. It's groundwater. And the moment water is in the ground, it starts to absorb everything, good and bad, salts, minerals, chemicals. Rainwater avoids all that, so we tank it before it touches the ground. Cleaning it is just a breeze because it has no sediment or no impurities in it. It is absolutely the cleanest, purest water you can drink. The most naturally sweet, sustainable source of pure water, fresh water on earth.
All right, what a night so far, everybody. How we feeling, Rex's Bar and Grill? We good? Yeah, here we go. Happy hour's kicking in. Huge thank you to Coach Sonny Dykes, Max Duggan, and our athletic director, Mike Buddie. And a huge thank you to everyone here. You guys make this happen. We're happy that we can come in and give you a little happy hour entertainment. Thank you for watching us tonight. But before we go, we want to welcome up to the stage the owner of this amazing establishment for making this all possible, Rex Benson, everybody. Here we go. Come here, Rex. Is that a drink or water, huh?
Water, both. Yeah.
Well, Rex, thank you so much for making this all happen today. It's been an awesome show, and it wouldn't be complete if we didn't get the story from you about how this whole place started.
Well, it's kind of funny how it started. Obviously, we own the Old South Pancake House next door.
Yep.
And so this has always been, I've seen this building as it was a macaroni grill. And there's always been a need for a quality sports bar on University. And so it's been a lifelong dream to be able to, put it together. And it was always kind of a pipe dream. And literally it happened overnight. We just woke up one day and Macaroni Grill was packing up. And we looked out and we're like, do we really want to do this? And we're like, okay, let's do it. And that's kind of really how it happened. It was pretty fast.
Do it was a very good decision, right?
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun, but we've had a lot of it. It's been great to be able to see the community come around and things like that. And obviously, with us being, partners with TCU and stuff like that, and us being like the official watch party spots, for the football team, as well as we also support other, all the other university sports as well. Like women's soccer is a huge one for us.
Yeah.
And the basketball team, just anyone and everyone. We try to support everybody equally. So it's a lot of fun.
And you guys opened in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be in. We're entering our second football season right now.
There you go.
How did you get into the restaurant business?
How did I get in the restaurant business? I was born in it. So my father has been in the restaurant business, my family, and we've had multiple restaurants here in Fort Worth, Japanese Palace, all Old South Pancake Houses and stuff like that. So I was born into it from day one, so that's kind of how I got in it.
Besides the Pancake House, you guys have any other spots?
2 Old Souths, this, and then the Japanese Palace.
There's a second Old South.
There's a second
Where is
Old
that?
South. It's down in Burleson.
Okay, and
Yep.
they have the German pancake with
They
the
do.
lemon that they won't let you do yourself, but a waiter has to come over and do
Yep.
it for you.
Same,
To
yeah.
make sure that you do it right.
They're both the same, yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
I'll have to check
Yep.
that second one out. I didn't know there was a second one.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan to expand maybe for Rex's?
That's the goal. This obviously is a monster in itself, and so the idea is to just stabilize and keep working on what we're doing now. And yes, we definitely have dreams of growing for sure.
Big one coming up in Dublin. I'm assuming this is the spot to be for the watch party.
Yes, so we are the official watch party spot, guys, for the TCU game in Ireland. We're going to have a big giant tent that's going to be outside. And so we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got a lot of great specials. We're going to have green beer, doing a bunch of different, we've got a lot of promotions going like that. So it's going to be exciting next Saturday.
Well, you guys heard it here first. If you're not in Dublin, you better be here at Rex's Grill. This is the spot to be for that. Well, thank you so much to our live audience out there for making this evening possible. For Roxo Media House, the Taylor twins, I'm Camden Stone. Have a great weekend, and of course, go Frogs.
Go Frogs! Go Frogs!